Hey guys, Marcinkin here, bringing you another Dragon Ball Z Dokkan Battle video. And so the reveal stream for the GDC Part 2 is over and we got a ton of information. The hilarious thing is, of course, I was live much like everybody else, and as we were waiting for the stream to start, about 5 minutes before it started, they landed the data download and essentially spoiled everything. So we stayed away from spoilers, we just watched the stream to get all of the info, and now handily everything is ready, posted, so we can make the breakdown video going over everything with all of the information handily posted here. I mean, they posted these tweets of the character details while the stream was still live essentially, but all of the information is now here and ready. Shout out to everyone who was at the stream. If you were, do let me know in a comment. Appreciate you guys that showed up and we saw this stuff live. It was crazy. I'm not going to put the animations in this video. I know they've been posted like everywhere already, but like I just can't believe the level of quality that Gogeta has for his animations is beyond next level. Like, they are the best animations in the game, hands down. Every single little thing you could want is there. Like, even things like after he's finished doing one of the attacks, the way his hair like moves in the, like, from the impact, like, I want to say wind, it's not really wind, because that was one of the complaints people had again about things like Beast Gohan's 18 key, right, where he does the sort of Bojack attack and then there's the explosion in the background, but his character sprite in the foreground, like, nothing happens, like his clothes don't move or his hair doesn't move in like the shockwave of the explosion. But Gogeta has all of that kind of stuff and he just looks absolutely insane. So we're going to break down all the details here. Make sure you guys hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new. Let me know who is your favourite from what you've seen. I mean, it's not going to be close, is it? But let's jump into it. So Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta is Super AGL, and unfortunately, he does lead GT heroes. 4 key and 220%. So the dream of having the heroes Super Saiyan 4s and him all together on his team is well and truly dead. However, Giant 8 power with double AGL Super Saiyan 3 Goku is still a possibility with this guy and all the heroes characters. So that will be fun still for me in the future. But GT heroes, we know we're going to get a bunch of GT EZAs. We're going to talk about those here as well. One big thing for this guy, we can see his links on the screen here. He does have Saiyan Raw. So they did keep with the Year 7 update for the physical Super Saiyan 4s and giving Gogeta Saiyan Raw. He actually is a 7 out of 7 link partner with the physical Super Saiyan 4s. So that rotation is going to go so insanely hard. Like this guy in slot 1 and them in slot 2. Obviously turn 1 you could put them in slot 1 as well, potentially, to get some stacks before Gogeta goes ham and just destroys everything. But very, very cool. So his passive, he has an entrance animation when you have 2 or more GT heroes allies on the team. So if you're running double Gogeta leads, the other Gogeta is already one of them, so you need one other GT hero, and you're probably going to be running the physical Super Saiyan 4s. And it does mean if you are running the double AGL Super Saiyan 4 Goku Giant 8 power team, both the Goku leads will then count as the GT heroes. So his intro is not difficult to get whatsoever, which is good. It gives him an additional super and guaranteed crits on his first turn, guaranteed. Superclass allies 3 key and 70% defense for 4 turns. So for 4 turns, he's giving everyone 70% defense. If you're running double Gogetas, that means then the friend one coming in on turn 2 is then doing that as well, which is pretty wild. Basic effects, 3 key, attack and defense 300%. Receives an additional key per key sphere obtained. Attacks are effective against all types. High chance to crit. Guard, 50% damage reduction, and a guaranteed additional super attack. When attacking, he gets another 300% attack. When receiving an attack, he gets 200% defense. And when receiving a super attack, he gets 200% defense temporarily. So it means just against the super. But that means even if the super's the first attack of the turn, he's going to be getting 400% extra defense when he gets hit by a super. So bear in mind that, like, obviously in slot 1, he's going to be getting hit with whatever his start of turn defense is. But that means, like, with support and all this other stuff going on, even if, let's say, he's only at like 1.5 million defense start of turn, which I mean is still quite a bit with some support on that, but let's say he's at 1.5 million start of turn and then he gets hit by a super attack, his defense immediately jumps up to 7.5 million and he has 50% damage reduction and guard. So I mean, like, even if he only has 1 million defense start of turn, it jumps up to 5 million with 50% damage reduction and guard. So Like, he's just going to be insane when receiving a super. And if it's a Ki Blast super, he has a 70% chance to nullify with tremendous power. Or if you're at 70% or less HP, he guaranteed counters it, which is insane. After receiving 3 or more attacks in battle, he then starts getting a guaranteed additional super attack. And then after receiving 7 or more attacks in battle, he gets 4 extra ki and guaranteed crits for the rest of the battle. So you don't need to give him any crit in the hidden potential whatsoever. He already has high chance to crit as part of his passive anyway, so that's pretty insane. And then of course the active skill is the Dragon Fist, which is probably hands down the best animation in the game. Can be activated starting from the next attacking turn after the character receives an attack. I mean, do I need to explain how ridiculously good that is? Like, as long as he gets hit by 1 attack on his first turn, you can then just use the Dragon Fist on the next turn. Like, so you're never going to have this issue where, like, oh, I ran Gogeta in this event and I didn't get to use the Dragon Fist. Like, you're just always going to get to use it. Unless you're beating events in, like, 1 turn, I guess. The effect is massively raise attack temporarily, does ultimate damage to the enemy, attack and defense 70%, and all attacks become crits for 1 turn. So not only should this hit like an absolute freight train, but then with all the other buffs he already has, he then gets an extra 70% attack and defense on that turn when he then attacks. Well, just in general, actually, when you've used the active skill. So his start of turn defense is going to then immediately jump up by 70%. Which then, remember, will go up by 200% or even 400 if he's getting hit with a super. So he's absolutely cracked. I think he, just from looking at him on paper, he probably is the best unit in the game. But we won't get too carried away. I know everyone's very excited about Gogeta. I am as well. But yeah, we can see his links, all his categories. They're all what we would expect. His super attack effects, the 12 key super raise attack for 1 turn with a great chance of further greatly raising attack. So that means it would be a 30% raise and then another 50% raise, colossal damage. And then his 18 key is greatly raise attack for 4 turns, which means the next time he appears, he's going to still have a greatly raised attack stat. And then a great chance of further massively raising. So he's going to raise attack by 50% and then have a 70% chance to raise attack by another 100%. They showed some gameplay on the stream, which is not something they usually do. And they said at the beginning it's a 1 dupe character, so 69% Gogeta. His attack stat for his 18 key super was like 59 million or something, with like, that's him with 1 dupe. And there were no support units on the rotation either. So like, he's just going to hit insanely hard. Like, he is an absolute beast. I think it's probably not a stretch to say he's the best unit in the game, but obviously we have to get him and use him first. But yeah, he's absolutely nuts. And then Omega is actually really good as well. He can't compete with the hype of Big Daddy Gogeta, but he is so good as an extreme character. He is what we wanted for an extreme character, right? His leader skill is Inhuman Deeds, Power Absorption, or GT bosses. So he has 3 categories with the 200% HP, 170 attack and defense. Then he gives 50% to Shadow Dragon Saga, Worldwide Chaos, or Battle of Fate. So he has a bunch of characters like all the Shadow Dragons, Rosés, Full Power Freezers, Super 17s, Buhans, like all these kind of characters. He's giving them all the full 220 lead. So he's got a really good extreme lead. Even if they're not getting the full 220, having like Inhuman Deeds and Power Absorption is really, really good. So his leader skill is very good. This is what we needed. He's going to be able to make some really good extreme class teams. And then when we talk about his passive, so he gets his entrance animation when all allies are extreme, which is a good start straight away. None of this GT bosses nonsense, right? So he gives extreme class allies chance of performing a crit 20% and randomly changes tech or AGL key spheres to rainbow only on that first turn. Then also he launches an additional super attack and gives extreme class allies 2 key and 70% attack for 4 turns. So this guy's kit's very much like the opposite of Gogeta, right? Gogeta's giving allies defense, he's giving allies attack. Then he has 3 key, 300% attack and defense. Additional key per key sphere obtained. He also has 50% damage reduction. He randomly changes physical or int key spheres to rainbow, so he's creating a ton of rainbow orbs. And then as long as he just needs to pick up 1 rainbow orb, extreme class allies defense 70%, then an additional damage reduction 10% for characters who are GT bosses for 2 turns. So that means that he's giving it to the next rotation, which means if you have the other Omega on the other rotation, once you've picked up a Rainbow Orb with him, you're getting 20% extra damage reduction for your GT bosses characters, which means Omega himself will have 70% damage reduction, which is really good. Then when attacking, he gets 150 extra attack. When ki is 18 or more, he gets 150% extra attack, as well as 150% extra defense when receiving an attack. When attacking with 24 ki, he gets a guaranteed crit. Then he also has a super attack counter, which is against unarmed super attacks. So when receiving an unarmed super attack, great chance to counter or guaranteed counter if you're at 70% or less HP, just like Gogeta. And then after performing 5 or more attacks, extreme class allies ki 2 and chance to crit 20%, and randomly change tech or AGL key spheres to rainbow starting from the next turn. So nice little buffs there, more rainbow orb changing, more buffs to the extreme class allies. Then he has an active skill, which is a domain. Creates the domain Earth Shrouded in minus energy. Can be activated when there's another Inhuman Deeds, Power Absorption, or GT Boss's ally in the same turn, or after 5 or more attacks. But I mean, I would say you're never ever going to be running him without another Inhuman Deeds, Power Absorption, or GT Boss's character. They've got to be in the same turn. So if you're running double Omega leads and they're both on separate turns, they obviously don't count for this. But like, there's no way you're running this Omega with at least 1 or 2 of these, all 3 category characters, right? So super, super easy to get. You'll be able to use it in turn 1, like pretty consistently, and then use the friend Omega one straight away afterwards, which is really cool. I think the domain details are on one of the other posts that we're going to see. His links, pretty typical for an Omega Shenron. He does have big bad bosses, which is obviously good. He's on all the categories we would expect for Omega Shenron as well. And then his super attacks, the 12 key raise defense for 1 turn, colossal damage to the enemy, greatly lowers attack and defense. And then the 18 key greatly raise defense for 4 turns, mega colossal damage to all enemies, and disables an enemy action. So it's mega colossal to all enemies. His 18 key is an AoE. And he raises defense for 4 turns, so that means on his next appearance, his defense is going to be elevated and then get raised again, coupled with the fact that he can have 70% damage reduction, so that's really, really good. And then, yeah, the domain, Earth Shrouded in minus energy, gives Inhuman Deeds, Power Absorption, or GT bosses, enemies and allies 25% attack, increased damage received by superclass enemies and allies by 20%, and an additional 10% for characters who are Earth Protecting Heroes, Fused Fires, or GT Heroes. So in almost any superclass boss event, they're either going to be Earth Protecting Hero or Fused Fighter a lot of the time. Those characters are then going to take 30% extra damage. So with the fact that he's supporting all allies' attack with his passive, the domain is buffing not only their attack, but then also buffing the damage that enemies take. Like, his team is going to hit so insanely hard. Rosé's on his full leader skill. So, like, imagine Rosé on the turn where he's used his active skill and is buffing everything, or buffing himself, I guess, or buffing the Future Saga allies, or you could use Samasu's one to give just him the attack buff. And then with this domain up and everything, like, his team is going to be hitting so hard, which is absolutely insane. So, Omega is really good. I know the hype isn't the same as Gogeta. I think his animation quality is nowhere near as good. Like I said, honestly, I don't think his animations are even really that good. I wouldn't say they're bad, but I don't think they're great. Obviously, they're not as good as Gogeta, but it's not even the case that, like, oh man, Omega's animations are really good, but it's a shame he gets overshadowed by Gogeta. Like, I think his animations are kind of, yeah, they're alright. They're not terrible, they're not bad, but they're nothing special to me anyway. But yeah, as a kit and a unit and the leader skill and everything, like, Omega's really, really good, for sure. So yeah, very excited for that. Then we had some other stuff about the events, so we know we're getting this event, so we can get a free LR Nova Shenron. People didn't think much of him when we saw his details, but now considering all the support he's going to be getting from Omega, including an extra 20% damage reduction, he could be quite interesting. Then we have the GDC special battle. Obviously, this is currently the stage 1 against Rosé and Zamasu, the hardest event in the game. This is going to have stage 3 and 4 added. We did see from the gameplay clip that they showed us that Gogeta can super multiple times, and I believe does he have an AoE as well? Omega has an AoE, just like the Int Rosé, and stuns with his super attack. Because in the clip they showed, he supered in slot 1 and stunned the Rosé, and then they had their Omega in slot 2. And then we also have new stages being added to the team battle thing. That's fine. This event's pretty easy. They've added a couple of stages throughout the celebration. So more stages equals more stones. So that's always good. Then we have this thing. So this is going to be live in part 2. This is the thing with the rainbow tickets. You should already have 50 if you've collected them all so far. And that means you're going to get a summon where you get one character. If you just do the stones, so do the summon for 50 tickets, you get one unit, but you have a 44% chance that it will be the new character. So you're going to be able to use this in part 2. Like, there will be people out there that will just use the 50 tickets and just get Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, which is awesome. Always love it when they do stuff like this. And then one of the big things they announced is, we knew they were going to announce some EZAs. Oh boy, did they announce some EZAs. They hit us with the line straight up before they even showed the screenshot. 10 GT characters are going to EZA during part 2. So we've got the Battlefield LR Shadow Dragons, which was very much expected. But then we've got Tech Sin. And then finally, after 8 years, these guys came out during the 2nd anniversary. Physical Pan, STR Super Saiyan Trunks, Super Saiyan 2 Baby, the Giant Ape, the Int one, STR Super Saiyan 3 Giant Ape Goku, and then, funny, they're EZAing the AGL Super Saiyan 3 GT Goku, but not the STR Super Saiyan 3 GT Vegeta, which is unfortunate. I mean, I guess he isn't on GT Heroes, because he's not technically in GT, so I guess that's why they're not, but that's a bit of a shame. But hey, they remembered sub-EZAs exist. Right, we thought the Battlefield LR was going to get an EZA, but these 6 other units, they were all potential candidates if Dokkan decided to remember that they exist, and they're doing literally all of them, so that's pretty awesome. And then the Super EZAs, as expected, STR Omega Shenron, but yeah, confirmation we are indeed, as a lot of us speculated, getting the 2nd year STR Super Saiyan 4 Goku and AGL Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta EZAs. So this is very, very hype. Obviously no details yet, but all of these EZAs definitely going to be very exciting. This Omega is going to be super good in events where you can lower attack, because on the Omega team there's going to be a ton of attack debuffing and then him giving everybody a bunch of damage reduction. These guys getting a super EZA is really good, because remember, the 4-year Super Saiyan 4s only have a temporary buff which will go away at the end of the celebration, but these guys will have their super EZA, so they'll be really, really good for the team. Pan is a support unit, so she's one to keep an eye on that could be really good. Sin, if his EZA is good, is going to be like the go-to link partner for Omega. I mean, same with the Shadow Dragon LR, to be fair. If both these EZAs are good, your 2 rotations on the team are going to be Omega and then the Shadow Dragons, and then Omega and Sin, right? So lots of potential. So let me know what you guys think down below in the comment section. Omega and Gogeta are coming. Literally, this video is being recorded right after the stream ended, and it's going to go up straight away. At the time this video is going up, the banners are out in literally less than like 2 hours. If we go to the Dokkan info, you can see the if we go card schedule, of course, there you go. The banners are literally live in less than 2 hours. So I will be live again just before the banners go live. Hopefully I'll see you guys there and we'll all get good luck. But let me know what you think. Who is your favourite? Who are you going for first? Let me know all your thoughts down below in the comment section. So that is going to be it for the video, guys. This has been the Master Ningen. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new. Check out the links down below, and I will see you all again soon. Have a good one.